Hey everybody, welcome back to Stamping School. I'm working in the Stampin' Up! Annual Catalog, page 137. I missed these completely the first time, but when I was doing my paper shares, I included a few of these, and they come with a box to put your little note cards in. So these are craft note cards and envelopes. You get 20 cards, 20 envelopes, and a little box that you put together to hold your cards in for $10. So a really good deal. And then I also want to show you 3 sets of dies that just go along with things that you already have. These are what the note cards and envelopes look like. They're very sturdy and they're nice. They're already pre-scored. They're 3.5 by 5 when they're folded, which still is a first class stamp. You can mail them. That's the smallest size you can mail. And the box is quite sturdy. So I'll show you that, how to put that together toward the end. Now this is one version of the card that I made that we're going to be putting together today. I'm going to change up the colors a little bit, but I want to show you these dies. Can you see that? There you go. This happens to be vanilla on white, so it's a little tricky to see. Really cool frame. So if you go to your annual catalog and you look on page 169, you'll see the first set that I want to show you. It's called Artisan Editions. And these are really made to just go along with whatever else you have. There's not a bundle, they're just extra. So sometimes you're bored and you just need a little extra something to put in with your flowers, let's say, so that you have a little bit different background or something fun to play with. This one looks like this when you cut it out, which is really pretty. And so they're really great for adding to a 3.5 by 5 note card. It fits perfectly. So they're about 3 by 4.5, so they fit nicely that way. You can also put them on a standard card. See, it's just, you just have more frame around it. So just do a little bit of layering. So this one, and then this corner one looks like this. So it's really pretty to just stick in the corner or up at the top. Again, that's why they call it Artisan Editions. It's just adding a little extra something. For instance, on this one, I watercolored it. Just added a little ink and color on it just to give it a little something. And this one, you just put it on your card somewhere and cut it, and it's going to give you those little crosshatch relief marks there, just to put some extra texture back there. The second ones are on page 174, split card textures. So these are 2 large dies, and this will fit better on a regular A2 size card. So it's going to give you the texture that's going to cut away. So it's going to look like this. There you go. You can see it better. So it's 4 by 5.25 really. It's really for the front of a card. You can maybe cut it down a hair, but they're pretty large. So it's going to leave one side open and then one side cut, which is kind of fun. And this one is sort of a flower pattern of some sort, like almost Art Deco. Those are going to be fun to play with. So we're going to use those in another video. And then the last ones I want to show you we're going to use on the card. Fancy frames, page 171. These are probably my favorite. I love a square, and I love little scrolly guys, and I love leaves. So this is a set of 2, and they're about the same size. They're about 3 by 4.5. So we got this pretty scrolly frame, which looks like this. And I'm sure we can find something to do with this piece too. Actually, on the front of my box, I used it, and I just left it white. So I cut the whole frame in white. Can you see it? Yeah. And I just stuck it back in there and stamped on it. And then this one is the rectangle frame. And again, they're the right size to go on these note cards. They're just perfect. And this one will cut this piece out of the middle to make your window. So we can use those pieces. I'll put all these away and we'll make the card. And for my flowers, I'm going to use Sending Smiles. It's got nice sentiments in it, sending smiles across the miles, and all kinds of fun things, and these pretty flowers. People have been using them a ton, and they are really nice. Now on this one, I want a little bit more contrast. I was trying to stay neutral in the background on this, but I think I want a little bit more. So I cut a piece of Pool Party that's the same size, and I cut that frame out of white. Now you can save yourself some time by doing some adhesive sheets, or you can just do the old-fashioned glue method. Get your silicone mat. Make sure this is clean. Put a little glue here and use your sponge, dauber. Kind of tap your glue on. I lost my one that's just for glue, and this one has a little coral on it. So it's gonna make my glue pretty. There you go. So when you turn it, remember that's wet right there, so you don't want to set that back down there. You kind of have to just move it around. Just know where you're working. And this is, I think I said 3 by 4.5, so my pool party is exactly the same size. This would be really pretty in foils, gold, silver, coppers. That'd be really pretty to cut a frame like that. And for the holidays, this is going to be great. Ooh, that's pretty already. I mean, craft is kind of, it's a neutral base, but it is, it can be a little boring, so you gotta have some pretty colors on top of it to give it some contrast. All right, I'm gonna glue this down, and we'll add some flowers. I do like that polished pink and garden green together. Let's see how this looks. Now I can put that white back in the center, or I can leave it blue in the middle. Let's see how it looks. I'm gonna bring in my flowers. I'm using garden green and polished pink. I'm gonna stamp this flower and the stem. And there are dies that cut these out, which is great. So these will cut that out, or you can fussy cut. Any flower is gonna work. It doesn't have to be these, whatever you have. Something with a stem looks nice. Here they are. I've got some dimensionals on the back. If I add that back in, that might give it a little bit more, yeah. I think I like it with white, but I want to add a little bit of splatter. I'm going to take this garden green. I got some in the lid already. I'm going to squeeze a little more. Push from the back on these new pads. Use a wet paintbrush or one of these aqua painters. Just get a little bit of water, a little bit of splatter. Ooh, that's a lot of splatter. Turn over on this side. I had a little bit too much water. Little bit. I don't use a lot of red or pink as my splatter because it looks too much like a crime scene to me. So I'm just using the green. But you could also do the light blue, the pool party, that'd be pretty. I'm gonna put this little thing right here. Now, of course, at this point, I could go in either direction, right? You can put a sentiment here, anything here. It's very versatile. I'm gonna add this pretty, the stem. I love the garden green sitting next to that pool party paper. For the center of my flowers, there's a little stamp, but it's just so much easier just to do a little coloring in the middle and try to line it up. And then here, I can do anything. I could do any little greeting, a little label, anything that I want. But in this case, I stamped a little garden green on some pool party with that same stamp set, and I cut it apart. So where it says birthday wishes right here, I just stamped it and cut them apart. I think something that's circular or something would look good there. I definitely like the blue better, so I'll finish that off with a sentiment. Let me show you what I did for the inside. This sending stamp is quite large, and if you wanted to, you could definitely use the die also that comes in that set, which is pretty. But I just wanted something kind of simple and to follow the color theme from the front. So it's very large, and I love big fonts like this. And imagine there's going to be a seam here. You're going to want to score this after you stamp it just to make sure that we don't mess up. And sometimes the ink can settle funny into the crease, so we're just going to do that. Before I get too far in, I'm just going to add a couple of splatters. This one is larger. I think that's my issue. I need my smaller aqua painter. This one's putting pretty large splatters on. And we just want enough room to leave a little space to sign the name. And I'm going to do sending smiles across the miles. This will just be a thinking of you kind of card. Let's do one down here. And there's several different flowers, which is kind of nice. I'm just going to stick with the same color theme, but obviously you could do all kinds of different colors. Let's do this little guy here. Maybe one more down here. And this little stem here. It's kind of fun. You got to know when to walk away. That's good. Fill in my yellow. And then I'll score this in half at about 3 1/4. And then when I glue it in, I'm only going to glue the 2 sides. I'm going to leave this whole part unglued. It just is nicer. Sometimes if you glue it and it just doesn't fold right or it bubbles, so I just put glue here and here and that's it. So I'll add my sentiment on this one, and I think I like this one better. Let me show you how to put the box together. Now I did add some designer paper on the inside just because it's pretty. So in the cards, you're gonna get this big piece here, and you'll get another one. One is the top, the smaller one is the top, and the larger one is the bottom. Now it's already pre-scored. All you have to do is kind of get it started. I just sort of get all my creases, fold them all in first. Okay, so we have all these folded. Start with these ends, okay? Leave these tabs out, but just kind of bring these down like that. Then these 2 guys need to be held with this. You really need all your fingers to do this, okay? And then this one comes like this, over the tabs. This pinches in, and then there's 2 little tabs that go in. That's your lid. You may have to rewind that and do it with me. But when you're doing it, you'll know it feels nice and secure. It's quite sturdy. Now let's do the bottom of the box. It kind of works the same way. You want to get all of these kind of pre-folded as much as you can. So it's a little easier to work with, just a little bit. You don't want to wear them out, but you kind of want to show them what to do. Okay, the ends go first. So put these little guys this way. And you're not tucking these in, but you're just gonna fold those down, okay? Same thing on this one. Hold that down. These go in, and this comes down. Same as the lid, and it locks everything in. There's like those little tabs. And then these come in, up, over, pinch, snap. There it is. Box. I put at least 6 of these in. 6 cards and envelopes. I mean, I think you could easily do 8. And they're, you know, these are springy, so when you push them down, you got a lot more room. I would say at least 8 cards and envelopes when they're decorated like that. And I just added the other die cut right here from that same set, this one, the scrolly one, and then just add my flower and just put "with love" on it. Really fun. $10 for 20 cards and envelopes and a box. That's a steal. All right, thanks for watching with me. We'll see you next time. See it, learn it, stamp it.